um, today was a great day. 75 hard is complete. Let's just make sure that I actually already have my photo, which I should. Yes, we have today's photo, which is what always kills me, right? I've been telling people that, like, that's the hardest part because it's the easiest part. You're always thinking about the workouts or the diet. Those aren't the hard part, right? It's the stuff that you neglect because it's so easy that you just don't even think about it. It's always the picture that kills me, right? So, but it's all done. Got both workouts in. I've enjoyed. I've only done it for one day, but Andy Elliott's Earn It All Academy is definitely. It was a different taste today, right? Somewhat high intensity body weight movements, lower body, which complemented the leg workout I did yesterday pretty well because it hit muscles that I didn't get to work really well yesterday. We attacked those today pretty good, and so definitely feeling it in my legs right now. 2 days straight of legs. Not complaining. There was a component of it that kind of caught me off guard, and I made it up, but definitely wasn't expecting it. And that's first thing in the morning burpees, right? Wes Watson would always talk about, getting those done too. Like, that's usually always like his first workout once he got up. He was knocking out burpees, and Andy Elliott's program kind of does the same thing. They say after you drink 24 ounces of water, you hit 25 burpees. And so that's going to be a well-received movement. First thing in the morning, one thing I was thinking about is, like, am I going to do it first thing in the morning, or am I going to go to the gym and get them done while I'm there? Kind of blending it into my workout a little bit. So we'll see how that plays out. Maybe tomorrow I'll try and knock them out before I get the day going, but it does complement the workout component well because it increases the intensity of the workout while I'm there. So maybe I'll save it for that. It was kind of feel it out and see how it goes. The diet, the calories I got assigned are a little higher than they were with Wes Watson. The proteins are a little lower, but the fats are also higher here. So that was kind of a welcome change. I still eat. I've been eating keto, so I didn't really hit the carbohydrate numbers, but I definitely smashed the protein numbers, which is the important one anyway. So got it done. One of the things I was thinking about today, I didn't talk about it in here or post it on Facebook or anything like that, but organization, right? And I talked about the photo being what always killed me in 75 hard. And as I think about my life and kind of the drawbacks that I have or the struggles that I have typically come from me not being real organized. And I thought about the question. So I got asked today, have I ever done anything as hard, like, has there ever been anything I've ever done that required all of me to be able to do, right? And or a goal or a job or anything that, like, I had to put everything that I was into it in order for it to work. And the answer I had was no, like, never, right? One of the things that I've been talking about a lot, or at least acknowledging, is, like, I'm a jack of all trades, right? Like, I'm good at everything that I do, right? There's not a lot that I fail in or not. I'm not able to piece together some aspect of it really well. Like golf, I suck at it, but I can crush, right? And so, like, people like having me come play because I can hit the ball really far, and it's cool to watch. Weightlifting, I'm good at what I do. I'm not the best, but I'm good enough to medal and compete at a national, international level, right? Recovery, you know what I mean? I did enough to stay clean, and really, like, just not picking up would be enough, but I did enough to change the person and it's probably the one thing I've done the hardest in my life, or not the hardest, but I've given the most of myself to be good at it. Sports, I've always been really just blessed with the ability to play. Working out, same thing. Like, And I was thinking about like, why haven't I've talked a lot about, this year is gonna be my year, right? Andy Frisella always talks about like, you get those people who are like 2018 is the warm up year, 2019 is the practice year, 2020 is gonna be my year. And then it's like, oh, well, 2020 became the second practice year. Now 2021 is going to be my year. And I've done that a lot, especially with my weightlifting, that this is going to be the year that I medal gold in every competition that I go to. And for whatever reason, I find myself not committing 100% of me to it, right? And even with my wife having conversations with me, like, if we're going to travel to these faraway places and spend all this money for you to do it, you should at least give it everything that you got to do it well. Second place, third place finishes, they're nice, but they're not enough, right? And she's like, you need to be the gold medalist if this is what you're really trying to do. And so I thought about like today, like, why haven't I ever really try to give my all to anything? And I've heard people say, well, if I don't give everything that I have, then the bar stays low, or then I have less opportunity for failure. And I talk a lot about like, I don't do anything half-ass, or I don't shortchange myself. But when I think about like, have I ever given everything that I have to, well, maybe my marriage, right? I really have worked really hard at being a good husband. There are certain emotional drawbacks that I have from being a good father or grandparent, but I think I'm pretty good there. But emotionally, I'm not emotional, so like there are things that there's just shortcomings in that area because I'm just not emotional, right? But I'm thinking about like this challenge of 10% body fat. Like I claim it like it's gonna happen, but like I was just thinking about the months of May, June, July, August. Like I wasted them. I didn't really try hard to lose weight during those times. I did enough to keep going, right? Like I kept working out every day, but I didn't like increase my cardio. I didn't try to do high intensity anything, you know what I mean? And so what happens when January 1 comes and I'm not at the percentage that I need to be at, right? Like, do I accept the fact that I waited too long to start? Right? Like, I was just thinking about like, what would my excuse be? Do I just say, okay, I failed and that's it, and like it's over? No, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm just really trying to process through some of that stuff. As I've talked before on here, like when it came to my studies, my job, I work really hard to do the best I can with the information that I have. But never have I gone on a journey like school, recovery, this weightlifting journey, anything where like it took me years to complete and I gave it everything I had to get done. You know what I mean? And I think that's sad, right? It's sad. And I need to change that. And so I called the guy and I asked him, I said, how long are you talking, right? Are we talking 90 days, 6 months? He's like, no, not even. Like a year at least, maybe 2 minimum. He goes, but maybe 5. Like I'm thinking 5 years, 10 years. Like, have you ever done anything for 10 years and given it all you had to see what you get? And I was like, oh yeah, not even close. And so, I mean, even with recovery, right? I wouldn't even want to lie. I've done a lot of work, but I didn't work as hard as I could. I could have done way more than what I actually did. And so I need to do something, right? This body recomposition thing, I think is definitely a good lane to start in, especially with like the 75 hard. I mean, I've given 75 hard a fair shake, right? And I've just always come up short, but it's always been because of my inability to do certain aspects, like be organized. And so what would it look like for me to do something to the best of my ability, or that I give everything that I have to it, and see where I come out on the other side. And part of me is I'm fearful of the success I might have. I'm not afraid of failure, but how successful might I be? That, I think that's more intimidating than anything else, because there's that with that one quote, like what is it, like, we're fearful beyond measure, not because we're weak, but because we're so great. You know what I mean? It's like so powerful. And I think that God has instilled a lot in me to do certain things, or to do a lot of things, and it's kind of nerve-wracking. But what would it look like if I did? And so I kind of been wrestling with that thought all day, because at the end of the day, I want to be physically fit, right? And I want to do this well. My wife deserves a very sexy trophy husband. My grandkids deserve the best version. And I've been talking about this for a while, like the best version of me, the best version of me. But even in talking about it, there are still areas, like I talked about yesterday, that I have fallen short on doing what I said that I would do, right? And I need to become more disciplined and more organized in order to get those things done, to ultimately hit the goals that I want to hit. I don't know why he asked me that question today. Maybe he's wrestling with some stuff for himself, but I do know that it convicted me in a powerful way, and that there are things that I need to do better. I talk all the time about my journey with Jesus. I talk about my recovery. I talk about becoming the man that I'm supposed to be. I talk about my physical fitness. I talk about getting to this 10%. Like, there's lots of things that I talk about, but I still haven't really taken any action to move towards any of them. So, Thomas, thank you for the question. So now I need to do some things, right? I can't claim I didn't know. I can't claim I didn't understand. I know. And so what am I going to do, right? I get so spread so thin that the things that I would like to do, I don't get to. And that has to change, right? Because the things that I would like to do are the things I think God is calling me to. So over the next few nights, maybe the next week or two, we'll start looking at some of this stuff and processing, like, what that might look like. Where do we go from here, and how do we get to the finish line? Because I want 2024 to be my best year ever, right? Going into becoming 45, I'm 44 now. When going into 45, I want to be in a different place than I am today. I don't want to wait till 50. I want 45 to be the number that my life changes drastically, so that when I get to 50, I'm living a completely different life than I am today. And so I had posted a while ago, make your dreams so big that you have to change in order to achieve them. And I still wholeheartedly believe that, and I think that I've done a lot to change currently, but not enough. And that was one of the things I thought about with 75 Hard, like, just doing it, even though I have failed every time, but just doing it has changed me drastically. And I love the person I'm becoming as a result of doing the program the way it's designed. Not trying to change it or soften it or make it something it's not, right? I've seen people have 75 soft, and I even heard of a 75 medium today. What the hell is that, right? But doing 75 Hard has changed me, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and I want to keep on that journey. And so I'm going to wrestle through what some of these things might look like, and see where we get, and hopefully come walking into 2024, we're going to be a completely different person, because we're going to have a completely different standard of life, some different disciplines, and way different goals and aspirations of where we want to be by the end of the year. So I've definitely been challenged, and I love challenges. I accept them wholeheartedly. and I just want to become the best version of me. And because the world deserves it, right? My God deserves it. My recovery, my sponsees, my family, they all deserve it. They need to see what this looks like. So I'm grateful to be clean. I'm grateful to be saved by Jesus Christ and dying on the cross for my sins. And I'm grateful to have the people around me that I do. They're not afraid to tell me the truth and challenge me without even knowing it. So I don't know if anybody's told you today that God loves you, but he does, and so do I. I hope you have a great day, and God bless you.